From the dawn of mankind, this day has been prophesied. We knew, as a species, we were going to get to this point at some time or another. And that this was going to happen. We just never thought it would. And this little strand of hair. There we go. I don't even know what to say about this. You already know what I'm talking about because you read the title of the video. But just... I don't even know. Like, it was inevitable. That much is certain. It was inevitable. It was going to happen. I just never wanted to think about it because... Virtuadolls. Virtuadolls. Pretty much what we have here is a game system, if you want to be technical about it. A game system where... And I can't believe I'm saying it. A game system where you have this machine, and you men, because there's no female equivalent yet. I know there's going to be eventually, but there's no female equivalent. Pretty much you have this machine with a hole, and you already know where this is going. You have to shove your member into the hole and thrust. And you doing so activates the controls on the inside to where what you are doing translates to the simulation. It's pretty much the closest we have come to virtual sex. That's pretty much what this is. And you can ask anybody that knows me. I can talk about this all day long just because I don't have a problem talking about things like this. But it's just the very concept that we are now physically doing this now. That I'm just like, what? I knew it was coming. No pun intended. I knew that, and I'll get to that in a minute. I knew that we were going to be doing this at some point, but I'm just looking at it, I'm just like, why? Just why? Let me get one thing straight. What somebody does behind closed doors on their own time, have at it. Alright, just have at it. What you do is what you do, as long as it's legal. What you do is what you do. I'm not going to judge or say anything against it. You do what you do. I'm going to stay over here doing what I do. The difference is that person is going to be looking at a screen or, because it's compatible, a VR headset while shoving their cock into this machine game system and pretty much dirty talking a virtual woman. Meanwhile, I'm over here talking to actual women and more than likely being with them later tonight. So, that's what I'm going to be doing while you're over here doing this. But, I'm just... Like I said, it was inevitable. This was going to happen eventually. But I'm just thinking about... This is already coming into production. Like, it's got half of its goal already. And increasing. So, it's happening. It's going to be on shelves soon enough. But here's my question. Are we actually going to go to game shops and we're going to have to be all discreet about it? Well, not we. I'm not going to be fucking doing this. But are they going to be all discreet about it? Like, yeah, yes, you person, behind the counter, I'm going to need one of your Virtuadolls. Oh yeah, they're in the back. Yeah, just step behind the wall right here, and we'll get you hooked up. We have it in a discreet packaging for all of your needs. Or is it just gonna be where you just walk in and you look at it and just go, yeah, I want one of them. All right, well here you go. In front of everyone, all the little kids in the store. Yeah, here is your Virtuadoll for your virtual pleasures later tonight. Or is it going to be one of those things where you have to go to an actual sex shop and get it there? Like, you walk in and there's the dildos, the whips, the handcuffs, the nipple clamps, the car batteries, then the Virtuadolls. Right next to the BDSM wear. Is it going to be something like that? Or the game's going to be right there with it? Is this going to... This is pretty much one of the stepping stones to virtual reality fucking. And I can see it now, because sadly I can't stop thinking about it. Not that I want to, but I'm thinking about the implications later on. We're starting with the Virtuadoll, like I said, only for men, because there isn't a dildo equivalent for women. Where she just pretty much squats down and the controls are on the side, and she just bounces up and down and hits the controls. Character moves this way, presses this button, and this action clears. Fuck, what was it? Oh yes, quick time event. Oh, gotta go up and down as fast as you can. Gotta mash those buttons. And then that would be a good fighting game equivalent where that's just the virtuous sex equivalent of button mashing, where it's just hitting every button randomly all at once, trying to get something to happen. But, fuck, I lost my train of thought, because that thought popped into my head now that I don't want it to. But, yeah, it's not the fact that it exists that confuses me, and not confuses me, but the fact that irks me, because I knew it was going to happen. Like I said, I'm just thinking about what's going to happen with it later, because is this going to be the first step in actual virtual sex? Because I'm thinking about it, because they said it's going to be VR headset compatible, and this is apparently my interpretation of the VR headset. Pretty much just, I can't even think of a reference right now. But you put on the VR headset, the guy shoves his cock in there, and then he apparently activates multiplayer, finds a local woman in the area, and then she's got her headset on, squatting above her system, and they just pretty much go at it. I'm just like, is it really going to be leading to that point? Because I can really see it happening. Just got their VRs on, just going at it in their rooms by themselves. I'm just like... It would be funny if they were just right down the street from one another. I'd just be sitting there just like, why don't you... You're with her, and why don't you just actually hook up? You know, well, she's fat as hell, she can't get to you, but why don't you go to her? Or think of it like this. What if it becomes a common occurrence eventually, like, the kid just now old enough to buy his own Virtuadoll, he sets it up, gets the VR all set up, and then there's an actual attractive, like, 20-year-old woman that's a little ways away who's got... I'm assuming they're going to be making a female equivalent, and she has her version of it over there, and they meet up on, like, Virtuadoll community, or... I can't even... Like, Virtuadoll multiplayer online community or some shit. And they have their session, and they're just like, oh, well, that was fun, and then stop seeing each other. And I'm sitting there just like, why don't you just date? Why? It's just thinking about things like that are just like, we are really at this point. I don't know. Just, no. What happened to being with actual women? Or actual people? I'm just like... I don't even know what to say. It's just... why use this when you can go actually be with somebody real? Like, instead of actually playing like a virtual simulation where you're... The two I've heard about that they have are a blue alien woman and a medieval woman guarded by a minotaur, which I'm assuming there's going to be DLC where you fuck the minotaur. I can see that happening, and I'm just like, why not just go be with a woman? Or when there's a female equivalent, you, woman, why don't you just go find this guy? I mean, why is that now not an option? But I could just see that being a story. Like, let's say the Virtuadoll online forum community actually does become a thing, and two people actually do hook up and have real sex, and they have a baby, and at some point the baby goes over and goes, "How did you and Daddy meet?" "Oh, we met online while we were fucking virtual systems, and then we were just like, you're pretty cute, why don't we actually fuck for real?" And then you came about, and yeah, that's how that happened. So, yeah. I'm just like, no, that... It's just... I don't have anything against it, because if people are going to use it, people are going to use it. Like I said, it's going to meet its goals. It's definitely going to meet its goals. It's already gotten over halfway in a very short amount of time. So it's going to happen. If not now, it's going to happen later. But I'm just sitting there just like, people are going to be, like, being discreet and everything about it when they really shouldn't have. Like, you're going to get that Weasley guy who has no social skills whatsoever carrying around discreetly in a cardboard box, and he's just like, yeah, I'm going to have some fun with you later. You're my excuse not to talk to a real woman. Just, no, that, I know it happens, but please, no. Just, nothing against it, but don't want anything to do with it. That's what I'm saying. If someone's going to use it, they're going to use it. I don't care. If they do make a female dildo equivalent, that's their thing. They're going to use that at their own time, and they're going to do it anyway. I just don't want anything to do with it myself. Nothing against it, but I just don't personally want to be in it. And I'm like, I know this is going to become a common thing later on in like the next 10 or so years, if even that. Where it's just gotten to the point where people are just using these things and they're having online sex. Which, I'm not going to do it, but I can see why people would. But I just really, I don't know what to think about it. Because I've already said everything I want to say about it. So I really don't know what to say else. Man, I cannot English today. But I could just see like many versions of these games coming out where first you have the blue alien woman, then the fucking medieval woman guarded by a minotaur. Oh, here's a actual computerized virtual woman that just pops up out of a ray of light in a machine and then somehow becomes real and wants to fuck. Now here's a pirate woman with tits the size of barrels, and just here comes a biker woman in all leather gear. Anyway, but I'm just sitting here as like, this is really where we're at. We're actually doing this for real. So I just don't know. It's gonna happen regardless, so nothing against it, but I'm personally not gonna be using one of these devices because I actually prefer real women. So, that happened. This is the Mad King Parallax signing off. I'm just gonna try and regain my brain because, no.